Hi, my name is Patrick Laniel, and this is my midterm presentation assignment for Composition 2. My topic is immigration reform. I picked this as my topic because it's one of the biggest topics for the presidential candidates, one of the biggest problems going on in America right now, and it's changing America as we speak. My hypothesis for immigration reform is I think my research will find illegal immigration is having a negative impact all across America. I also think I'll find that the government isn't taking the necessary steps to enforce immigration laws. They're just handling things and not putting their foot down and taking the more necessary measures. My targeted audience is the government, presidential candidates, politicians, Border Patrol, the president, of course, basically everyone across America. America should be listening to this because this is not just affecting a small group, a town, or a city. Everybody in America is going to see and feel the changes the government is bringing upon us because they aren't going to be the ones changing. We are, the people, not the government. My research objective is to educate people about immigration reform. The word is thrown around here and there, but no one really understands what it fully means. What is actually going on, or what is going to happen, nobody really knows. I mean, how long are we going to be dealing with this problem? Is it going to be the hottest topic every single year? Immigration reform is a term meaning changes to current immigration policy for a country. In its strict definition, reform means to change into an improved form or condition by amending or removing faults or abuses. So with that being said, it almost sounds like there will be a lot of changes going on with America. And for you to finally fully understand what immigration reform actually means, you will be able to pick out the strategies the government is using while people are talking on the radio or discussing it during the news, or maybe even during debates and presidential speeches. Commonwealth Magazines has published 20 times a year in print as well as digitally enhanced multimedia formats, including special issues each year dedicated to contemporary theology, books, and fiction. It also operates a continuously updated website and blog at www.commonwealthmagazine.com. Commonwealth Magazine stated, "Most of the blame for the current crisis lies with U.S. employers, not with those seeking a better life. The demand for low-paid, largely unskilled workers, especially agriculture and the service industries, is enormous. Like the illegal immigrants themselves, U.S. businesses and consumers turn a blind eye to the niceties of the law." Now, immigration is having a negative impact on U.S. citizens. While illegal immigrants are working for low pay and under the table, there are Americans out there that can't even get a job because the U.S. employers would rather have an immigrant working for less pay. And they do harder work. Now, Roy Beck and Rick Ufford. Roy Beck is a former journalist and public policy analyst who has served as the executive director of Number USA since 1997. Beck was a journalist for 3 decades before founding Numbers USA. Rick Ufford is a peace activist and longtime member of the Southside Presbyterian Church in Tucson, Arizona. They stated, "Study after study of the past 160 years of the U.S. economic history was found that high immigration nearly always is accompanied by wage depression and increased gaps of inequality. It is true that most foreign workers, legal and illegal, improve their own economic situation by moving to the U.S. Plain and simple, this is what is going on in America every day. We hear it on the news, and anytime we turn on the TV, with all the fast food workers going on strike and whole cities rioting over discrimination. It's tearing America apart. George W. Bush, the previous president of the United States of America, said in an interview, "Look, whether or not you agree with the solution or not, we have a problem in America. When you've got 8 million undocumented workers roaming around, a solution is not instantaneous citizenship. The solution is something more rational than that." I agree with George Bush, and it will be a long process, but controlling the flow of immigrants coming in is what needs to be established. The longer we wait to take action, the harder it will be to clean up. He didn't even mention the amount of undocumented criminals we find roaming around the streets in our backyards and neighborhoods. Mark Krikorian has been the executive director of the Center Immigration Studies, a think tank in Washington, D.C. since 1995. He stated, "And the problems associated with illegal immigration, burdens on schools, pressure on public services, even wage suppression have nothing to do with legal status and everything to do with numbers. For example, a fourth of all people in the United States living in poverty are immigrants, legal and illegal, and their young children. Immigrant families account for a third of the uninsured, while 36% of immigrant households use at least one federal welfare program. These numbers are staggering." Talk about the impacts of immigration. Just think, once all of this is figured out and illegal immigrants aren't illegal anymore, America might be on its way to becoming the nation's top country again, possibly. Jeremy Slack is the principal investigator for a major project funded by the Ford Foundation. He has been conducting research on the border since 2003 and began studying deportation in 2007. He said, "There is an enormous cost associated with increased incarceration, with each detainee costing an estimated $119 per day." Just think about that. The federal detention budget for ICE was $1.96 billion in fiscal year 2013. Excluding the cost of incarcerating people convicted of crimes who are sent to the federal prison system. Immigrants pouring across the border aren't just illegal, but some of them are criminals. The amount of criminals that are being found is scary. They could be living right next door to you, and you may not even know it. The amount of money that is being spent to clean up America is jaw-dropping. Immigration is a serious problem, and it's not getting any prettier. The amount of research that I have done is enough to tell me that immigration is a more serious problem than I actually thought it was. My hypothesis is strongly supported by all the credible sources I have found. It is not hard to find a topic where immigration has had a very negative impact. The only question I have left is, when is it all going to end? How long will it take? What will happen to jobs across America? Will I have to pay more in taxes? Most likely. But more importantly, how are we going to fix this? Thanks for listening.